new health care policy, but we also have to do better on education. We have to do better. One of the most interesting things about that debate to me tonight was they all came out against English only, and they both came out for bilingual Americans. We all need to learn more to relate to the global economy. So Hillary said, let's have universal free kindergarten so all our kids, without regard to their incomes, get off to an even start. Let's get rid of No Child Left Behind. And instead, spend more money to put good science teachers, good math teachers, good language teachers out there. And identify the schools that are doing well by global standards and pay to put what they're doing right in all the other schools. That's what they do at the Army in Bayer County, I promise you. That's how they replicate excellence. And finally, she would open the doors of college to all Americans and make sure you could stay no matter how much you had to borrow. Here's her plan to the college students. Raise the Pell Grants to keep up with inflation every year. Raise the tuition tax credit to $3,500 a year from just $1,600. Provide more AmeriCorps community service opportunities to earn money for college. Crack down on the abusive practices of these private student loan companies that charge our kids an arm and a leg. They're wrong. Under a bill she already passed just a couple of months ago, you get this option. No one can bankrupt you with your student loans because you have a right now, under Hillary's bill, to sign a contract to pay back your college loan as a certain fixed low percentage of your income over a longer period of time. You don't ever have to be afraid to borrow money again. You don't ever have to be afraid to borrow more money again. You never should drop out of school because you're worried about the debt again. And finally, she said, if you are a teacher, a police officer, a fireman, if you're a nurse, a mental health worker, a doctor in an inner city clinic or a rural area, your service will pay your college loans off. Every year you serve, you do it. Now, so I honestly believe if she is elected president by Texas and Ohio on March the 4th, if you will nominate her, I think she'll go all the way. If you do that, and her energy plan, her jobs plan, her education plan, and her health care plans are adopted, this is what I think. I predict to you, you will have more jobs, more prosperity, more broadly shared than you did in the 1990s when I was president. It will be a great thing. Give yourself a better future. Now, one last thing. This is a big military town. The president is the commander-in-chief. She is the only member of the Armed Services Committee running. She has the support of any number of distinguished former generals and admirals who know they can trust her to bring our troops home from Iraq in an expeditious way without making it worse, to rebuild the American military from its current enormously strained condition because we've been there longer. We were in World War II. A lot of our young people have served longer deployments in World War II. We have used up our ground forces, the Army, the Marine Corps, the Guard, the reserves. You have Navy reservists in the Iraq theater today serving with the Army because there's no more ground forces left. Our military requires us to bring down our soldiers and bring them home so we can maintain the quality and the strength and the integrity of the American military. And finally, we can't solve the real war on terror, which is in the moderate Muslim democracy of Afghanistan, where the leaders of Al-Qaeda are still alive and at large, unless we get out of Iraq from the daily fighting and bring our soldiers home and go to work against the real terrorists who caused 9/11. If you want that sort of security policy, you vote for Hillary. She will give it to you. And just one last thing. She will not, even though she'd like to, she will not be able to promise you that you will save all $120 billion we're spending in Iraq. We'll save most of it, and we need to, because we need to get out of all this deficit spending, out of mortgaging your future, and go back to the way we did it. Let's go back to balancing the budget, paying the debt down, and making your future free and integrity. But she asked me to say this at every turn. We made a terrible mistake after the Vietnam War. This country confused an unpopular war with whether it had obligations obligations to the people who served in the uniform. A lot of the homeless people on the street today are Vietnam veterans that this country walked away from. She wants you to know she will never walk away from the young people who have served us, who have injuries, who have needs. Whatever they need, she is going to provide them if you elect her president. That's what makes America work. When we go forward together, when we share our responsibilities, we share our prosperity, we share our opportunities, we celebrate our differences, and we say our common humanity matters more. That is the America the world wants to love again. That's the America that will be back if you elect